And let's switch over now to the Biden crime family. So we've got a lot happening lately. They're being exposed. It's very much a mob operation in a lot of ways, as you've alluded to. And you've written about how the Biden family is getting payments, and it's being shown that they've been getting payments, including from the Chinese intel corporations through shell companies, all these complicated transactions. And in terms of Congress and the GOP and their investigations, they're really unveiling and exposing all of this. This is quite serious stuff that the House Oversight Committee has found, right?
Yeah, the latest findings from the Republican House Oversight Committee from Representative Comer are very striking. And this is stuff no honest businessman, no legitimate family needs to be doing. You don't need 20 different bank accounts. You don't need shell companies. You don't need to create 4 different shell companies that then move money over to family members, which is itself really damning. And then you have associates. Your associates open their own LLCs, and then they move money through those LLCs to relatives from the Biden family. It's really blatantly illegitimate. If a normal person starts doing stuff like this, the IRS will be on them. Various federal agencies will be closely scrutinizing them and saying this is not right, especially when you have money not just being moved domestically, but coming from abroad, coming from Chinese intelligence affiliates, coming from people who are going to end up being convicted of various financial crimes. So in the House Oversight Committee comes out with this stuff. It raises serious questions. You've got money coming through these Chinese LLCs to an associate LLC, to Haley Biden, to other members of the Biden family. This obviously stinks to high heaven. Of course, the media's response is, well, the House GOP failed to report shows that Joe Biden was not involved in anything, which is, of course, their takeaway. House report fails to prove that Biden was involved in anything. Well, you have to obviously think 2 things. One is that the Chinese and the Ukrainians, who are the nicest people in the world, particularly Chinese oligarchs involved with Chinese intelligence, are very generous people. They decided to send millions of dollars to the Biden family because they are, very charmed by its various members, and they really like what a crackhead who spends most of his money on prostitutes can do for them. It has no reference at all to Joe Biden, of course. It's just they're very impressed by the business talents of Hunter and James and various members of the Biden family who are not even doing any kind of businesses, and they decide to send them money or to their, bribing Joe Biden. So which one do you think the media picks? The media picks its answer is that this has nothing to do with Joe Biden, nothing at all.
But Daniel, they've showed that there's millions in foreign payments and, huh? $10 million. Biden's family members, business associates, obviously Biden's involved. They've created a web of over 20 companies, as you've documented. What exactly does this mean? Treason could be thrown in there too, right? Is a word to describe it.
So it's certainly treasonous, but I think an important point that needs to be made is this stuff is not even new. Biden is not even the first prominent Democrat politician to be doing this stuff. That's the really outrageous part. You go back to Harry Reid. Harry Reid and his kids were doing this. John Kerry is still at it. John Kerry's the loudest voice saying, we need to get these slave labor Chinese solar panels to America. We can't ruin our relationship with China because of the planet. He doesn't mention his family members, including his stepson, who are involved in this sort of business. So unfortunately, the Chinese have learned that our political class, especially our Democrat political class, so I have to say that Neil Bush is also very much on the Republican side. The Republicans doing this too. You can just direct money to their family members, and the politicians will say, it's not me. I'm not doing anything. You can't show that any money went directly to my bank account. It went to my son's bank account. It went to my daughter's bank account. It went to my nephew's bank account, my brother's bank account, and it went to my wife's bank account, but it didn't go to my bank account. Therefore, I must be innocent. And the media, of course, decides to say, yes, he must be innocent. You can't show that he directly got the money. And this scam, of course, goes back at least a generation, if not even more. I think at the very least 30, 40 years. It's outrageous. It is corrupt, and it's the definition of corruption.
And as you write, that for the Democrats, the real scandal that the media should cover is that Justice Thomas's elderly mom is living in a house that somebody paid for. That's what the leftist media is focusing on.
Oh yeah, the big huge scandal was that Justice Clarence Thomas's grandnephew had his education paid for by somebody who has no business in front of the court. Meanwhile, the Biden family is getting $10 million from foreign nationals. There's no scandal to see here. Oh, no. Now, if one of their grandnephews was getting, they decide that that's no scandal also, of course.